Welcome, listeners. This is Still Here, Still Talking. I'm Karen.
And I'm Julie.
Oh, well, have you ever noticed that some of life's greatest lessons weren't taught in a classroom? They were learned on dirt roads, in gardens, on ball fields, and around the dinner table during the summer vacation.
And all those jobs, those summer jobs.
Yes, lots of lessons there, right?
So many lessons. My first job, well, I had two summer jobs. I was probably 10 or younger. Strawberry picking and working at a vet clinic, cleaning
Uh-huh.
out their pens. And I was trying to make money to relieve some of the stress for my mother, being a single mother, and I thought I could help out with school clothes and a few other things for the summer. How about
Well,
you,
that was
Karen?
that was very good of you. Yeah, a lot of those summer jobs. Yeah, we learn. We take them on because we want to help out with the family. I know I did a lot of different summer jobs. I know I started at age 9, where I started my own initiative. I went out and said to my dad, "Can I use the lawnmower?" It was just a regular blade, rotary blade
Hmm.
lawnmower, And I said, "Can I use it?" And he goes, "What for?" And I said, "Well, I want to mow lawns." So I went around the neighborhood and knocked on doors and mowed lawns for people. And it was great exercise. And then in the summer, I raked leaves and I got my own money. And that was the purpose at age 9. I was like, okay, I don't really want to babysit. I want to go out and do something else. And I made a lot more money mowing lawns and raking leaves. So it
Mm-hmm.
was very, very, very good.
Oh, I forgot about babysitting. Oh, yeah, babysitting too, right? And
Right.
I remember I wanted to make the extra money, and I got the phone book out, and I don't know where this idea came from, but I just started calling vets, and I got a job for the weekend for the summer, Saturdays and Sundays. And they even gave me my own key. My mother would drive me back and forth, but they even gave me my own key. And it felt good to be working and making my
Bet
own
that
money.
did. Yeah, well, especially since, I mean, that was quite a responsibility that was given to you at such a young age. I mean, that was really good. What a great lesson right there.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Lessons
Well, with
learned.
yeah, well, with all this hard work that we were doing at such a young age, I mean, we also balanced it out with a lot of play, right?
The sports. You and I both
Yeah.
love our sports.
Yes, we sure do. We played softball, volleyball, and racquetball, and we did all kinds of things. But definitely during the summer, playing a lot of ball games, and yeah, we even played on a couple of teams together.
We did.
Yeah,
We
so
did
it's
the
nice to get it
racquetball
balanced.
thing too.
Oh yeah, we definitely did that year round racquetball, 2 to 3 hours at a time, 2 to 3 times a week. It kept us in
Oh
great
my
physical
God.
shape.
And I learned so much on those early years, teen, getting up. I lived near a park, getting up, so excited. First it was just a bunch of us kids would be out there and then it was formal teams and I learned how to be a team player playing those sports.
Yeah, that's very important. It's not just at school that you play on teams but also out and about in the community. I mean, I played softball for 33 years and in the community, and I also coached for several years. Women's softball team as well as mixed team and young kids from 4 to 8 years old, teaching them how to play. So it was the lessons you learn from playing on a team is valuable. We carry it forward into everything that we do, and certainly even going the lessons that we learned as a youth, working as well. Going out there and earning our first dollar. All those things were very valuable that we brought from our youth into our adulthood. Very
E-
valuable lessons.
Exactly. And I loved the sports. I loved it when they hey, Summers over here. I mean, because my last name is Summers, I always got a kick out of that, Karen. Summers here, over here, plant it, whatever it was.
Summers, summers.
Summers
It's
loves
pretty.
summer.
Ah, and the other things that we did was I remember one of the lessons that we learned was when my family, we moved to the farm, and so we had a large stretch of road that went through our farmland. And it was public road, but we owned on both sides of it. And so, unfortunately, so many people were just trashy and they're throwing trash, littering. And so all that trash was alongside the road. And and so then I was sorry, I was a little distracted there. So alongside the road, and one of the lessons that well, there were several lessons that we learned from that, and that was that there was um, exercise, there was the responsibility of the chore, there was togetherness with the family, and then there was the stewardship of taking care of the environment. And even though we begrudgingly, would go out there and do it, but later in hindsight, looking back at it, they were very valuable lessons that we learned.
And you know what? I grew up with no chores at all. It's horrible. Well, wasn't so horrible. We found our we did our own stuff. Like I was motivated. Um, self-motivated, right? And
Yeah,
I
yeah.
love talking about, you're talking about the trash and, us kids being, five kids and my mother was single. I always share that. There wasn't money for treats, so we go and collect cans, and it was for the ice cream truck. So
Yeah.
we love that. Barefoot, getting cans out of the trash, climbing it on the road, running to the park to that candy truck. I remember buying, oh, it was so much fun. It was so much fun.
Oh, that's great. Well, out on the farm, there was no candy truck, no ice cream truck that came
Oh,
by. We were like 5 miles away from a store. But collecting collecting those cans and the bottles and stuff, I mean, before there was the recycling, the deposits, I mean, we turned the glass in and we turned the tin
wow.
in. So we'd get paid for that and we'd end up using it for some type of a treat for us, five kids out there. Well, four of us most of the time. The oldest sister didn't really participate. That's another story. But
Yeah,
we'd
there's
go
always
out there.
one.
There's always one. And we'd go out there and um in, even like I said before, even though we begrudgingly did it, we did get a lot of lessons and we did get money for it and get some benefit.
A win-win.
It was a win-win, absolutely. So there were lessons in that. So we've had, our summer jobs, we've had where we earn money and we definitely balanced it out with play. And then we had some lessons. And then there were many things that we did that just gave us experiences with our family, right? Creating memories, giving us some history.
Beautiful memories back in the day, right? It was just there were a lot of gatherings where I remember one particular, again, I had that. I loved it. We lived by a huge park, and I remember my mom and dad at the time, they went down there early and they put all the picnic tables together and they called the relatives. It was like a week in advance. And they called the relatives and everybody brought dishes and we had a grill and we were cooking hot dogs and it was just
It's
wonderful
a
memory.
family affair.
Oh my
Like,
gosh, that memory. I just remembered that too, Karen, as we were talking about, our
mhm.
stories. It brought back that beautiful memory for
Yeah,
me.
yeah. These are really wonderful things to recall, when we think that our childhood could, for many of us, unfortunately, we might think that our childhood was just such a burden that we had a horrible time growing up.
Mm,
But when we look back, as we're older, we can appreciate many of the things that were given to us, the experiences and the opportunities. I mean, there's not too many parents today, I think, that would allow a 9-year-old to go out knocking on doors to mow lawns. Um, or or like what you say, the less, the family gatherings today, they seem like they're more. calculate it one time a year or might every 5 years we're having a family reunion.
Yes.
Whereas when you and I were younger, it was, it seemed like there was at least one weekend a month that we had the family pulled together, 3 to 4 generations all come together, stretching out to the first and second cousins. It was always a large gathering.
Yes. And I was lucky too. I was fortunate in the sense that my grandparents had a lot of family gatherings at her house in the winter and a lot in the summer. And she had a beautiful vegetable garden, and she had strawberry patch and berries and I mean, I'm a big, huge cherry tree, and we'd go over in the summer and we'd have our shoes off. Although I do remember they say, put those shoes on, you're gonna get cherries all over your feet. Um, and they'd go, okay, you want a snack? Go out in the backyard and pick one.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's what we did.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm glad to see that there are still some families today that are doing that with their kids. It's like my niece, my nephew, and my niece. They have kids, and they are um, promoting that, getting family together and going out and doing some basic chores, and not just letting them sit in front of the television or in front of an Xbox or whatever is available today to entertain people. It's like get outside and be active and do things. I know that for me, and I'm sure it's true for you, that these summer activities, we were never home.
Oh,
It's like we wake up in the morning, got breakfast. If we were, if I wanted breakfast, definitely many times I didn't care to have breakfast, and I'd be outside, and yeah, we would be out until the lights were starting to come on. Then it was like, okay, got to get home.
yeah, it was like the lights are on and so are we. My I don't ever remember my mom even calling us in. We were just, oh,
No, we were
wow.
out. We were always
We
out.
were
Yeah,
out
and
and
people say,
about.
yeah, and people say, well, it was a safer environment back then. Not truly. There were many cases of children being snatched. I mean, when I
Hmm.
was younger, even on a military base, there was harm done to kids. So you had to be, savvy. You had to be
Yeah.
aware. You had to know who to talk to, who not to talk to, and
Hmm.
protect yourself. So, I mean, we had those lessons. My parents taught me that and taught the other kids that of be be suspicious of anybody approaching you was
Yeah.
no matter what, anybody approaching you, be suspicious and be prepared to run or scream or yell, whatever you needed to do. But it
I don't
existed
know.
back then as it does today.
I
It's
don't
not
know.
that much different.
I always ran in packs, you know what I mean?
Right. That's true. Julie,
Packs
that's
of
a good
friends.
point. That's a very good point that most of us kids at that time, we ran in packs. It
Yeah.
was like 4 or 5 of us, riding bicycles or going to the playground. We were hardly ever alone. In fact, even walking to school, we were never alone. We always walked with several other kids, right?
Right. And I think it was later as I get older, they were promoting on television, the black and white television. I'm laughing.
Hmm.
They were promoting like, don't go anywhere alone.
Yeah.
But I never went anywhere alone.
Hmm.
I never went,
Hmm.
none of us did, right?
Yeah. Well, even, as adults, right? We don't go out alone. I mean, I very, very seldom ever went anywhere alone, like to a club or to a dance or anything like that. Most of the time we went together, but
Yeah.
we didn't go out alone. That was one of the things I certainly always promoted to my girlfriends and stuff was like, I'll call me up if you want to go out, don't go alone.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, Karen,
Yeah.
I just thought of something really funny.
Oh, what's that?
So, like, having those watermelon fights with the seeds. I don't know why
You
that
had
just came
seeds and
to my
watermelon.
head. Oh my God. Yeah, there was seeds in watermelon, which now you can buy seedless watermelon. You couldn't then. Maybe it was there, but no, it was just like, hot summer days, sitting with your siblings or friends, and spitting those watermelon seeds at each other. What a fun memory.
Uh-huh. It was like reminds me what you just said, spitting or throwing them at each other. It was when I had one of my summer jobs in August, was at a blueberry factory in Ellsworth, Maine, and
Yeah.
we used to take the blueberries and throw them at each other. I mean, we would just wail them.
Oh, that's
I'll
too
tell you, they
funny.
would hurt. Uh, to hit you just right. But yeah, we'd have fun with that. And that was one of those summer jobs, getting money
Yeah.
for college, you know. So
Yeah, you were so good at that. So yeah, we
yeah,
wanted to
throwing
have
things.
some fun today. It's, July 1st. Well, you'll get this podcast next week, but um yeah, we wanted to share
Uh,
really good memories, childhood memories of the summertime.
yeah, yeah, and help your children remember, help them learn the lesson. You don't have to lecture them, but recognize that each of these different activities in the summer help us grow. It's not just at school that we grow and that we learn lessons, but also in the summer we learn lessons and grow. And like I mentioned already, and I'll summarize it again, is that each of the stories that Julie and I just talked about, where we did jobs to make money, we balanced it out with play. Um, and we learned lessons along the way, and then many of the experiences that we shared with our family created um, these wonderful memories of our family history. So help your kids have that experience also.
Oh, I love that, Karen. And to our listeners, your story matters, your voice matters. Reach out anytime. Our email address is still here, still talking at yahoo.com.
Yes, and remember, childhood summers taught us that happiness isn't found in having more, it's found in working hard, laughing often, loving deeply, and making the most of ordinary days. So thank you, listeners, for tuning in. We appreciate you. We are still here, still talking. We're not experts, we're just experienced.
Thank you, everyone. Enjoy the sunshine today. Bye.
Bye.